Hey folks, Real Honesty with Jarmitlin. I'm Jarmitlin, and this is a continuation of my worst gimmicks in wrestling series. I'm going to cover gimmicks from WCW, TNA, Impact Wrestling, and WWE especially. Since WWE's been around longer, there will likely be more parts of WWE, that'll get... I could probably do another 5 parts on WWE. In fact, I have stuff from people in the comments on my previous video, which was part 1 for WWE. And you can always leave comments if you'd like of gimmicks that I haven't covered yet, and I will be happy to get to those. And I even wrote down the YouTube handle so I can write down your YouTube handle and, credit you, or your Twitter handle, whatever you prefer. Anyway, so worst characters in TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it. There's a few written down here. I wanted to write down at least 8, 8 or 9. That way I have some to cover, and that way at least it will go 8 minutes, maybe 9 minutes, depending on if I get on a rant. Because honestly, it's pointless to cover like 4 of them, because then it's just like a couple minutes, and I might as well make these videos at least near 10. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this, and let's keep it themed for the particular brand. After I'm done with this, obviously after you're done watching, leave in the comments if there are any bad gimmicks from TNA, Impact Wrestling, whether it's back when they started in 2002, all the way to now. If there are ones that you don't like, leave them in the comments, and I'll see if I can come up with another list and do another show. Anyway, so on with it. Claire Lynch. Because why wouldn't Claire Lynch be on here? It's not necessarily even the woman who's at fault here, the woman that played Claire Lynch, but it's like, good God. Did they not think this story through at all? This was some of the worst stuff you could ever deal with. It's one of the worst angles ever. Period. And I don't care who put this on. It was bad that WWE even tried to copy this with Brie, Brian, and I think Brian's physical therapist. It's like, it was terrible to copy this, because this is one of the worst angles ever. Absolutely worst angles ever. It led to cringeworthy TV. Dixie Carter, who looked like deer in the headlights more than Jim Crockett Jr. And that's hard to do, because Jim Crockett Jr. didn't really look comfortable on TV. Claire Lynch, it's just like, it was bad, the whole thing from the beginning when she was crying on TV about being an addict, I think, and then AJ and Dixie were helping her, and then it turned out that Claire Lynch was trying to swerve AJ and pretend to be pregnant with his kid, knock him up and stuff like that. Kaz and Daniels at least had fun with it. As much fun as they could have with this shit angle. But yeah, it led to so much cringe-worthy TV, and then there was no end to it because the girl didn't want to continue it, so they ended up just announcing that AJ wasn't the father, and God, no one, this was 2012. I wouldn't have been shocked if AJ wanted to leave then. I would have wanted to leave. It was, God. This was just so bad, and I'm watching just thinking, how in the world could anybody, I don't care who wrote this shit. I don't care who wrote it. I hope to God it wasn't Russo, because even this seems low. Well, I don't know, actually. They did a miscarriage angle with Terry Runnels, so I don't know if I would put anything past Russo. But whoever came up with this, whether it was Dixie herself, whether it was... I don't think Bischoff came up with it. Dixie herself or anybody that, had their head up their ass. The Claire Lynch character, angle, just gimmick, terrible. Absolutely goddamn terrible. It was embarrassing. And the Rainbow Connection. Come on. If you watch any footage of them, you'll know why. Like, come on. It wasn't that they were bad athletes either, but this was just a gimmick that was doomed from the start. The whole androgynous, goofy... It was just bad. I'm trying to pick my words carefully here, but it was just... Rainbow Connection was just really, really bad, no matter how talented the guys were. You could put anybody in that gimmick, and it would have not gotten over at all. And so we have Suicide. Why I got the shirt here. I got in one of my Impact Wrestling unboxings that I did, which was kind of nice. I did 5 of those videos, believe it or not. I got quite a few deals for them. I recommend you guys check that out, the Brown Bag Special, because... you can get a lot of stuff. They're trying to clearance a whole lot. Anyway, Suicide was a character you could play in a video game. Suddenly he's here on TV, played by a multitude of people. I believe Daniels, Kaz, now TJ Perkins played him. There were a bunch of people that did. There were a few, and it's like my brain's kind of like frying on the rest of them, but those are 3 I know for sure that played him. Yeah, just it was bad. I mean, it wasn't like the athletes playing him were necessarily bad, but the gimmick was just it was terrible because it was promoting a game which I played the Impact Wrestling, the TNA Impact video game. I mean, that game was so broken it wasn't even funny. I mean, the animation for all the stuff they put into it, it should have done better than it did. It was not a good game at all. Not good at all. And the Suicide character somehow is still going. They brought it back. Don't bring that back. Bring back better characters. That does not include Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard is an idiot. He should not be on TV anymore. Now, Black Rain. Because it was Goldust, well, Dustin Rhodes, being a darker version of himself. Now, this one's on here. I'm going to take it easy on Dustin because Dustin tried, but he was going through a very tough time in his life. He was trying to get clean and sober during this time, and I believe had a moment where he broke down and realized he needed to get clean. He was going to get clean, and that pretty much ended the Black Rain gimmick. And the theme was kind of cool. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with Dustin trying to add a layer to a masked, face painted character. But they had almost no, explanation for why it happened. Just suddenly he had this dark voice and this dark side of him, and that's why Black Rain came up, and they never went anywhere with it. It was just weird. I mean, it's like if it was Dustin now with the shape he was in, if he was in the shape now, back then, it would have worked a lot better. But he was bloated, he was not in really very good ring shape, and he wasn't as invested in the character. And I mean, thankfully he got clean, and that's great. I'm just saying, for back then, it was not good. And Black Rain it fizzled out so quickly. I think within 8 months, the character was gone. I know he feuded with Chris Harris. I know he teamed with Relic. Oop, spoiler. Relic, it was Killer backwards. Get it? Do you get it? It was... The mask was whatever, mask or face paint or anything. I mean, great, good athlete, but just, come on. This was stupid. I mean, they were trying to add so many dark Halloween-type characters to it, and it just wasn't good. It would... just... Oh, Relic was such shit. I mean, my God. And the gimmick could have... No, the gimmick never could have worked. It couldn't have. I don't care who you put under that. It just was not good. No matter how good of an athlete. Joseph Park. Here's why Joseph Park is on here. Abyss is a good talent. Good big man. Put his body through a lot. And Joseph Park wouldn't have bothered me, except it was very obvious it was just Abyss. Unmasked. And only he didn't know he was Abyss. And that angle went on forever and ever and ever with Eric Young doing the whole thing. And my God, it went forever. But I'm not talking about bad angles here. I got that for another show. But yeah, just Joseph Park, there was nothing wrong with trying something different. I mean, the WWE did rip it off for Corporate Kane, obviously, even though I think Kane did a better job. Because Joseph Park, his problem was he should have been left under the mask. And now I think he's got face paint on. I don't think he's got the mask on anymore. But yeah, Joseph Park, why? I mean, just why? Why? But why though? It was bad TV. Just bad TV all around. Speaking of bad TV, Shira. I'm sure that the India TV deal is the only reason Shira is employed. There's no other reason why Shira would be employed. Because the guy has been a project for a number of years. And he hasn't gotten any better. He can't dance. He can't really move in the ring all that well. I'm not saying I can wrestle. I obviously can't. But if this guy keeps getting this TV time and he's not getting any better, then they might want to ship him back to India for more training or something like that. And just, not like ship him in a crate, but just send him back to India. Maybe he can get more training and come back and actually be better, because Shira's crap. I mean, this is a crap gimmick. It's a crap wrestler. And speaking of crap gimmicks, Grado. Grado's apparently way over in the UK. Apparently he's very popular. That's great. Grado is shit here. Absolute shit. I mean, my God, that's the best you can do is have some guy who is goofy, and the guy could be a really nice guy. I don't know, Grado could be a really, really nice guy. This gimmick just isn't over in the US. It's just not. I mean, any fans that want to pop for it, great. If you find it entertaining, that's cool. He's like a British Santino. The only problem is that Santino had at least some wrestling ability. I have yet to see that much wrestling ability with Grado. They're probably making him dumb it down for TV. I've seen a little bit of his UK stuff, and he's a lot better over there. But yeah, just Grado and Impact Wrestling, bad. Just absolute shit. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this off. So any Impact Wrestling, TNA, gimmicks that you thought were the worst that I didn't list, feel free to leave them in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, my Twitter link is in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.